guys to write down on this piece of paper, what did you think when you came and saw this board? What were you feeling? Were you scared? Were you excited to see it? Then when we're done, you can just keep them. Everybody done? Great. It's time to say goodbye, but I think goodbyes are sad, and I'd much rather say hello. Hello to a new adventure. When I first said hello to Alzar, I was saying hello to a new adventure, but little did I know that through all the exploring, I would find an equal amount of clarity inside the classroom as outside the classroom. In the beginning of the semester, this clarity was not anticipated, and there were many challenges that I had to overcome through different tactics. The moment I walked through that door, the nervousness sank down inside me, and I began to dread what this math class was going to bring. I went into my math class with such a negative outlook, but ultimately, my positivity overruled my dull mindset. This semester, I've taken my positivity and willingness to have an open mind outside the classroom, and I've used it inside the classroom, specifically my math class. Being open-minded has let me be more engaged in class, do the necessary prior work, and develop a new comprehension level of the material through remaining open to continuous learning. All of my life, I've been focused on getting out of classrooms and other buildings that have kept me locked inside. I wanted out because I needed to get outside and enjoy the fresh air and openness for all it's worth. I've always been focused on getting outside because having the feeling of freedom is when I have the strongest positive attitude. Being in math class, I've noticed that my positivity I feel outside the classroom has managed to soak its way inside the classroom. And I find myself being more open-minded and enthusiastic for math class. My moment of learning was when I started learning trigonometry, which sounded super scary to me because I had never done anything like trigonometry before. In my setting school, trigonometry is something that only seniors take. So I was really intimidated when Dan announced that we were going to be learning trigonometry. A moment that I considered to be the tipping point of my math career was when I got my first assignment back, and I did really well on it. I realized that I could do challenging math, do well on it, and understand it. I learned SOHCAHTOA. I learned that I could not use the ASS triangle. I began to consciously realize that the way I'd been learning at home, I just wasn't connecting to the material I was being taught. My big aha moment was finding out how to learn best. The reason I understand this math so well and connect to the material is because I'm learning the material I learn best. I found out that the way I learn best is when a teacher explains the material to me, then gives me a problem. If I don't understand that problem, it helps me when the teacher interacts with me and has me doing the problem on the board. I can see where I went wrong, and if I'm still confused, the teacher helps me to see where I went wrong. The biggest thing that I'm going to bring back home with me is the new knowledge of how I learn. Finding out how you learn is a very good thing to know because you can get the most out of what you're learning. As I was looking through my work, I realized that some of my best work came out of the trigonometry unit. The trigonometry unit mainly works with triangles, finding the angles of elevation, depression, and finding unknown sides using sine, cosine, and tangent. One of the best paths I ever did was during this unit. We had to find the distance from a UFO to a Chick-fil-A. Doing POWs is something I'd never done before, and the first time I saw a POW, I got really discouraged. A POW is like a very complicated word problem, and for those of you who don't know, I'm very bad at word problems. POWs are a very strict plan that you have to follow in order to get all of the points. The first POW we did, I didn't know how to follow that specific plan, and when I got my graded POW back, I found out that I got a 40% on it. After that score, I was determined to do my next POW right, by following the rubric. The second POW I did, I followed the rubric and made sure to do each stage, and when I got my POW back this time, I got a 95%. Not bad. Math has always been a class where I applied myself to the work, and I've never gotten the scores I've wanted. When I came to Alzar, I applied myself to the work like I always do, and I got an outcome I liked. I understood the material I was being taught, and I understood it so well that I was able to teach my other classmates, which I had never been able to do before. It's a great feeling when your worst subject in school suddenly turns out to be your favorite class and you're able to teach what you're learning. I feel so much more confident now in math because I know how I learn. And when I go back home and I'm not doing as well as I was here, it's either because I'm not learning the way I learn best, or it's because my teacher at home isn't as great as my 2 math teachers here at Alzar. If it's because I'm not learning the way I need to, that will be an easy fix because I now know how to learn to set myself up for success in my class. Having an open mind has really led me to being open to continuous learning in my math class. Having a positive attitude in everything I do and having an open mind will set me up for success in my future classes. I will continue to not only have an open mind in school, but I also have an open mind in everything I do. I have grown because I have learned not to go into everything with such a negative mindset. I have learned to have an open mind and going into things that I don't necessarily like. I have learned to love math that used to challenge me, and I will continue to challenge myself every single day. I will remain open to continuous learning